Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to be going over some expensive menswear items that I think are worth the money. So I've already done a video on expensive menswear items that I think are not worth the money, and while I think there are plenty of items in the market, plenty of menswear pieces that you should not be spending your money on, I think there are a ton of items out there that are worth the extra money and will often save you more money in the long run if you just splurge a little bit in the beginning. So I'm going to be talking about 7 items I think are worth every penny. Number 1 on my list is a leather jacket. So this is one of those things that I think is a staple for everyone's wardrobe. I think it's nice to just have it as an option in the back of your closet, even if it's something that you don't wear necessarily all the time. But having a very nice leather jacket always looks so much better than a cheap one. I personally have one from Zara and I've already noticed some flaws in it. It just doesn't fit as well as the leather jackets that I tried on when I was in Italy, and they were beautiful and expensive, so I didn't want to spend the extra money, but now I really wish I would have. I think you can always tell when something is a little bit higher quality. They look better, they feel better, they're just overall a better option. So not only are they going to look better, but they're also going to be more durable and last you longer too, which something like this that you're maybe not going to wear as much, or even if you do, that's just another reason to spend a little bit of extra money. So I think this is one of those things where you want it to last long, you want it to be durable, because it's going to be something that you have in your closet for a long time. And just saying, I don't think just because you're over 40, you need to stop wearing a leather jacket. I know many YouTubers have said that before, and that is just something that I absolutely do not agree with. Teddy's dad is 60, I think, and he rocks a leather jacket better than anyone I've ever seen. So I don't think age has anything to do with if you should be wearing a leather jacket or not. I think these can look great on anyone if you do it tastefully. Number 2 on my list is fragrance. And before you say it, Courtney, you said that this was not worth the money in your expensive items not worth the money video. And I did. And I'm going to play devil's advocate here and take the other side because I see the appeal for it and I understand both sides. While I don't think you need to spend a ton of money to smell good, there are so many colognes out there that are affordable, they smell great, you'll smell amazing with them. You don't need to spend $300 on a fragrance to smell good. I think that's just not a necessity. You don't have to do that. But I do understand the appeal for a more expensive fragrance. You're getting premium ingredients, rare ingredients, high quality. It lasts longer because you don't need to put on as much at once. You probably only need one spray. And it stays on longer. You don't have to reapply it, therefore it lasts longer. So I do see the appeal. I know there are people out there that are really into fragrances, and I think that it's definitely something worth spending your money on, especially if you're into it. But like I said in my last video, I don't think it's something that you necessarily need to do. If you're someone out there that can't afford to buy a really expensive fragrance, don't think, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna smell good, because that's simply not the case. There are many amazing great fragrances out there that are a little bit cheaper, but I really do see the appeal for spending a little bit of extra money on a higher end niche fragrance, especially if you're someone that doesn't want to smell like everyone else. You want to have a signature scent, a unique smell. You're gonna wanna spend a little bit more money to get that. So that's why I think it's important to be able to see both sides with this one, because just like anything, if you're into it, you're going to justify spending the money on it. But I truly do see both sides because you don't need to, but there are reasons to if you're into it. Number 3 on my list is a watch. So kind of like a fragrance, you don't need to spend a ton of money to get a good watch. There are Timex, Tissot, Hamilton out there that are pretty affordable and they're great watches. You don't have to break the bank to get one of those. However, if you spend a lot of money on a watch, and if you do it right, it could end up being worth more in the long run. I think there are definitely perks to spending a little bit more on a watch. You're getting something that will outlive us, really. People pass down watches to their kids, their grandkids. This is something that you could potentially have for your entire life if you don't pass it on to someone special to you. So I think it's definitely worth spending the extra money on if you're able to. Like I said, if you do it right, you could also end up selling it for more than you paid for it. In that case, it's kind of an investment and totally worth every penny. Also, another thing I love about watches is it's not just a style accessory, it's also functional. So when you get that 2-in-1 factor, it kind of helps you justify it a little bit more, because not only is it something that looks great and you'll enjoy, but it's also something that's really functional for you as well. Next, we have a pair of denim. So I'm not talking about a designer pair of denim that you're paying for the name brand and there's jewels all over it and weird threading. I'm thinking of like Buckle, where the jeans were like $200 for no reason. They weren't even good quality. I think it's very hard for a lot of people to find a pair of jeans that fit, and often the pair of jeans that fit is a little bit more expensive. For me, it's Good American, and they're $100-something, but I know I'm getting a really good quality pair of denim, and they fit me absolutely perfect. So for me, it's worth it. I think that perfect fitting pair of denim is worth the price tag, regardless of what that might be. If you're someone that wears denim every single day like I do, I can't just buy a cheap pair of denim because they get worn out so fast. I don't want to keep paying for cheap denim over and over and over when I could just get one nice pair and it will last me longer anyways. So this is one of those things where you might have to splurge on it in the beginning, but you'll end up getting more use out of it and you'll get more money out of it in the long run. Number 5, I would argue the most important thing on this list is a suit. A suit is one of those things that you do not want to skimp out on. When you put your suit on, you should feel like James Bond. You should feel like George Clooney. You should feel like $1 million. And if you don't feel like $1 million, you're not doing it right. If you're a teenager and you're getting your first suit, I don't think this is something that you need to spend a lot of money on because you're young and you're still gonna grow and you don't need to splurge on it yet. But once you graduate college, or once you get your first real job, or once you enter adulthood, I think then it's all right to splurge on that suit. Get that suit that's going to fit you absolutely perfect, whether that means going to a tailor, getting it custom fitted. I think the fit is more important than the name brand. So I'm not saying go out and buy a $2,000 suit that you didn't even get fitted, you just got it off the rack that way because of the brand name. I'm talking about spending the extra amount of money to get it fitted to be absolutely perfect for you. There is nothing a girl loves more than a perfect fitting suit on a guy. A perfect fitting suit is the most attractive thing a guy can wear. Like I said, do not skimp out on a suit. There are plenty of things in your wardrobe that you can spend less money on, like t-shirts, sweaters, underwear, socks, pretty much everything else except the stuff on this list. But definitely spend the extra money on the suit. It will be so worth it. When you put it on and you feel like $1 million, it makes every penny you spent so worth it. Next up, we have a pair of leather dress shoes and boots. Shoes are one of those things where you can tell a huge difference when you wear them if you spent a little bit extra on them or if you got a cheap pair. And it's not really even about the way that it looks, it's about the way that they feel, and it's about how long they last. I have bought cheap pairs of shoes before that are scuffed up and ruined after the second time I've worn them, and that is the most frustrating thing in the world. So for me, it's worth it to just spend a little bit extra, get more wear out of it, get something that's going to be durable, get something that's going to look good a year from now, and I'm not going to have to keep replacing them. So shoes I think this is most important for are your dress shoes and your leather boots. So both leathers here. I think leather is just something you don't want to skimp out on, especially because it's shoes. They are getting the brunt of everything you're doing. There's so many factors that go into the wear of your shoes, so I think spending a little bit extra money to get a pair that's going to last you longer will be worth it in the long run. Also, with your dress shoes, you're not going to want to have a perfect fitting, beautiful suit with a cheap, gross, scuffed up pair of dress shoes. You're going to want to have dress shoes that look great with your suit as well. You will not feel like $1 million if you have a beautiful suit on with a crappy pair of shoes. So I think shoes are so much more important than a lot of men think. I think this is something that is often overlooked. There's a study out there that says the first thing women notice is your shoes. And I think this is true, and it says a lot about a person. I know that's so silly, but having a good pair of shoes gets you so much farther than you think. And last on my list is a wool coat. So whether this be a pea coat, a top coat, an overcoat, a winter essential like I mentioned in my last video, this is something that I think everyone needs if you live somewhere that gets even remotely cold. If you're someone that dresses up at all, you're gonna wanna have that nice wool coat that's not gonna ruin your outfit. A wool coat is another one of those things where you're not gonna have to keep buying new ones and replacing it all the time if you get one that's really nice. It's going to last you for years. It's going to be an item in your closet that goes through so many seasons and years with you. So it's better to spend a little bit extra in the beginning to get that longevity and durability. If you spend a little bit extra, not only is it probably going to look better, but it's going to last you a lot longer too, which with a coat, I don't know about for you, but for me is so important because these are not cheap. I have bought coats from Zara, H&M before, and I also have bought coats from Nordstrom, and I'm telling you, the coats from Nordstrom still look better, they're going to last me longer, and they keep me warmer, which is the whole point of a coat. I think this is another one of those things where if you have to spend a little bit extra to get it fitted and tailored to fit you perfect, that is really important as well. Like I mentioned with the suit, it's not necessarily about the brand name, it's about how it fits you. The fit trumps everything else and is the most important. Alright guys, that concludes my list of 7 expensive menswear items worth every penny. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What are some things that you've spent money on that you do not regret at all? Is there anything on this list that I missed? If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for when I release new content. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.